What is up, guys? So this video will be on a bunch of stuff from the Elseworlds crossover this year. There are a lot of things that were revealed that I didn't get the time to make a video about, but now I will make a video dedicated to every one of those topics. So first of all, it was revealed through a picture that John Wesley Shipp will be returning to the show, but not as Jay Garrick, not as Henry Allen either, but as Barry Allen from the 90s Flash. At least that's the same costume he's wearing. I don't think it was confirmed that it is actually Barry Allen, but he's wearing the same exact costume, which wasn't the craziest big surprise. I mean, it was pretty crazy, but the fact that he exists in the Arrowverse multiverse was already confirmed a while back when Barry ran through a multiverse portal and went to, I think, Earth 2, and he saw a bunch of Earths. One of them was the 90s Flash Earth, so the reveal that he's in the Arrowverse wasn't really a reveal, but it is still pretty crazy that he is appearing in this crossover, and I think you probably will have a more minor role in the crossover, just like for like a pop-up from a bunch of Elseworlds versions of the Flash and other characters, but I am still pretty excited to see him in this crossover, even though I haven't seen the 90s Flash TV show, and I most likely never will. It is still pretty exciting to see this version of the Flash in this crossover, even though it's probably going to be a very small role. So then we got our first look at the main villain of this crossover, the Monitor, in this poster. Now I know that's a little weird because the Monitor is not actually a villain in the comics. I've been over this before in other videos, but they are not doing the Anti-Monitor most likely. I mean, that hasn't been confirmed, but the Monitor will be an antagonist in this crossover, and he probably won't be like a bad guy, but he will be the antagonist, something that he will do that he probably sees as the right thing to do, and it might even be the right thing to do, but it will become conflict. It will be conflicted with the Arrowverse superheroes. But this is the first look at the Monitor, and I gotta say, he looks, aside from the color of his skin, looks exactly like he looks in the comics. The stripes on his forehead exactly the same. His costume is very, very accurate to the comics. Obviously, the color of his skin is completely different, but I honestly don't mind in this regard. I mean, if he's a good actor, he's a good actor. There are a bunch of characters that I do care if they race bend the character, but for the Monitor, I don't really care because even though he is a very, very powerful character and has had a very major role in a bunch of crises, or really the one Crisis on Infinite Earth, he still is a more minor DC villain, so they could change a little bit. I think outside of the color of his skin, everything about him, the costume and the stripes on his forehead, looks exactly how it looks in the comics. So in this poster, if you look closely, you do see a planet exploding. Now, it doesn't look like Earth, so it's probably not going to be his master plan to destroy Earth, but we do know that Superman and Supergirl are appearing in this crossover, and it has been said that Superman will actually have a lot of speaking lines with the Monitor, and it's possible that this planet that is blowing up is Krypton. Maybe the Monitor had something to do with Krypton's destruction on Earth 38, and maybe the difference between Earth 1 and Earth 38 is that Krypton never exploded on Earth 1 or never blew up on Earth 1, so Superman and Supergirl never came to Earth. I think that could be a very good way to distinguish the two Earths and maybe put them together by the Monitor going back in time, maybe destroying Krypton in the past on Earth 1, but that is probably Krypton, and the Monitor probably have some connection to Superman and Supergirl in this crossover. You also see another planet in the background that, to me, honestly looks a little bit like Apocalypse, like where Darkseid is from. I think it's just the redness of it. That planet probably has nothing to do with this crossover, but I think that, I don't know why, I just think it's possible that it maybe has some sort of connection to something, but it's most likely not. It's just this exploding planet, definitely hinting to something Kryptonian to do with the Monitor. So then we have a bunch of new set photos confirming a bunch of new things for this crossover. First of all, there's one set photo that confirms that Brainiac 5 and Martian Manhunter will be appearing in this crossover. For Brainiac 5, I think that's pretty cool. He probably will have a very, very minor role, but Martian Manhunter, who will also probably have a very minor role, is pretty exciting because Martian Manhunter is a character I've wanted to see in a crossover for a very, very long time. He did appear in Duet, but I mean like an annual crossover event, because he is a very, very prominent member of the Justice League, one of the most prominent members in the Arrowverse, so I would have liked to see him in a crossover before, and in this crossover he will probably have a very, very small role, and he might not even become a Martian, like Martian Up if you want to call it that. I mean, I wouldn't bet on that. It's very possible that he will, but just going off of these set photos, the actor isn't even wearing the CGI effect thing that actors wear when they become CGI or they put CGI on them. So in this scene, at least, he's not going to become a Martian for at least the scene that they're shooting in this set photo. But I am very excited for him to appear if he does become Martian Manhunter and teams up with the rest of this Elseworlds Justice League. But this set photo and the fact that Martian Manhunter, Brainiac 5, as well as Superman and Lois Lane appearing in this crossover, it may confirm that this crossover will primarily be focused around Earth 38 and that Batwoman and Gotham City are in Earth 38. Now this crossover will most likely be in a lot of universes because it is titled Elseworlds, but it's possible that this confirms or speculates that this crossover primarily is about Earth 38, but we'll just have to wait and see for that. But there are more set photos. A couple of them confirming that the black suit Superman we saw a week or two ago is actually not the same person as the Superman from Supergirl. He's actually an Elseworlds version and an evil version at that. These set photos show a black-suited Superman holding Barry Allen, an unmasked Barry Allen actually, as the Flash, with Green Arrow trying to probably talk him out of killing the Flash, with Supergirl in the background, and Superman, the real Superman, in the background, holding a large book, which is the same book that you see in this poster with the Monitor. Now, I don't have a clue what this book is. It probably has to do with the Monitor's plan. It might be his book, and he reads it and knows everything that happens in the multiverse or something like that. But this confirms, these set photos confirm that this black suit of Superman is a different person from the regular Superman and is an evil version of Superman, which is something that I've wanted to see since Crisis on Earth X, or specifically in Crisis on Earth X. I think Overman, who is the really main villain of the Earth X comic books, whenever a comic is set on Earth X, Overman is usually the big bad of that comic, and I think that would have been a very cool thing to see in Crisis on Earth X. I mean, Superman didn't even need to appear, but Overman could have been a great threat for the Arrowverse Justice League, along with the rest of the Nazi versions of the Arrowverse. I think that would have been cool to see, but they're doing it here, which is also pretty cool as well. Also, I've said that I love this black costume, so hopefully we see a lot of it in this crossover. So moving on to the more Gotham City / Batwoman / Batman related set photos and news. First of all, I will say, just thinking about this, it's so crazy how they're balancing all these things for the crossover with the Batwoman / Gotham City part of it and the Elseworlds / the Monitor / Superman part of it. It's pretty crazy how they're doing that, and I'm hoping that it turns out well. But Wayne Enterprises was teased for this crossover. We will see Wayne Enterprises, which is very cool. We have seen it in the past in a poster, specifically this one. You see it in the background, you see the entire Gotham City, and one of the buildings is Wayne Enterprises, but I'm just bringing it up again because it was brought up again by, I think, Mark Guggenheim. But Wayne Enterprises, I think it's possible that we will go inside of the building and maybe have a cameo from a Bruce Wayne that you can't actually see his face. I think it will be a huge missed opportunity to not have Batman or Bruce Wayne at least have a cameo, an unseen cameo in this crossover, maybe just a heard cameo, or maybe a cameo where you can't see his face, at least Bruce Wayne. But also, that would be dope if we saw just a shadowy figure in the background of a scene, possibly at the end, and it's hinted that that is Batman. That would be a huge missed opportunity if they don't do that. Last thing is that Stephen Amell tweeted this picture of him in the Flash suit, along with Colin Donnell, the guy who played Tommy Merlyn in Season 1, as well as a couple guest appearances after that. But this set photo, or not set photo, but this picture from Stephen Amell definitely raises some questions about whether or not Tommy Merlyn will be appearing in this crossover. It does make sense if he would, because in other universes it's possible that he didn't die in those universes, specifically the one where Oliver Queen is the Flash and maybe Tommy Merlyn is still his best friend and is still alive, so it would make sense for him to appear in this crossover. On the other hand, it's possible that this is just a visit from Colin Donnell on the set of the crossover. I am not sure at this point, but I think it definitely would make sense for him to make a cameo in this crossover. So anyway, that is all the details from the Elseworlds crossover that I have missed and I've not made videos about in the last week and a half. But let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.